We'll get going just as soon as we get everybody, give everybody at least a minute or two to join here so we can talk about it and break down what's going to be going on overnight tonight. So just give everybody just a minute to get back in here and then we'll get going. And you can ask a few questions. I don't have a lot of time to answer a lot of questions, but I'll do the best that I can to answer questions here. Okay. I'm just giving everybody a minute or two to join. I know we got to keep a couple people joining now, but I'm going to give everybody else a chance to get in here in just a moment so we can try to break down and tell you what's going to happen tonight and try to shut down some of the nonsense that's out there because there's a lot of nonsense floating around right now. All right, let's try to get started here. So I don't know how many people are actually joining us right now because my end it says 8 people are on, but there's probably more than that here. I hope so anyway. So, well, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you're having a good Monday. It is warm and it is humid outside tonight or this afternoon here. I'm about to answer all of that for you, Garrett, here in just a second. So. All right, so let's talk about it. And this is, these are times. This is not just one of my goofy things that we do. This is when we really should have a lot of people on watching to get the information here. And of course, it just says I have 7 people on right now, which is very, 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 very disheartening here. So. All right, so let's talk about what's going on. First of all, I've gotten this message from several of you with somebody on social media, and it's going viral, has posted this dangerous outlook graphic that's centered from Oklahoma City right down into Wichita Falls tonight. That's nonsense. This is not much different than some of the more recent severe weather events that we've had. As of late here. If we go back into the fall, there was a couple of instances in the middle of the night where we'd have these line of thunderstorms that would push on through. This is not our classic severe weather setup where we get the dry line, the big supercells, and they have all the energy to work with and all the ingredients to work with. This is a line of thunderstorms that's going to be quickly developing between, it looks like between about 10 and 11 p.m. tonight. So what's going to happen with this line of thunderstorms is it's going to expand quickly and it's going to move fast across the area. The wind energy with this system is intense. So this line of thunderstorms will be crossing the area fast in the middle of the night. Our main concern with this line of thunderstorms will be strong wind gusts. That is our main concern. Anytime you get a line of thunderstorms, everything is spread out. So your main concern almost always is strong wind gusts. And we're talking about wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour. Not everybody sees that with the line. Some people won't. Some people will. Some people may see a little bit more. So let's try to bring in here I'm going to try to do a screen share here so I can show you what my thinking is here. So here is the latest satellite. And that's a pretty intense storm system, and it's intensifying even more so there up over the Colorado Rockies here this evening here. Out ahead of it, strong south winds, pretty windy today. And we do got some moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. It is early March. It's not your typical real high tropical-like air moving in, but it's pretty humid outside here this evening and this afternoon. And if we look out west, you can see the spin out here. There's your main storm energy out here into the Rocky Mountains, New Mexico, and into Colorado. Later tonight, this is going to begin to kick out to the east. As it does so, it pushes this dry line to the east, and a line of thunderstorms is quickly going to develop in this area here. What helps us is the fact that this is developing in the middle of the night and not late in the afternoon. Late in the afternoon, we have a better chance to see more storm energy develop across the area. That leads to more instability, and that gives you a better chance to see those supercell thunderstorms. I actually saw a couple yesterday out west there. But what we're looking at here tonight, again, you're looking at a situation where the sun sets, what's called boundary layer, or outside of the Earth's surface where we live, it gets cooler. So typically speaking, when that happens, you don't expect what we call surface-based thunderstorms. You expect what's called Oh, they're called elevated or slightly elevated above the Earth's surface, and that could be a limiting factor tonight. Some here. So it looks like to me, again, between about midnight and, well, let's say 10 and 11 p.m. here, you'll probably see a line of storms kind of develop up here quickly, and it'll kind of develop down south here pretty fast. And then that line is going to progress to the east overnight tonight. Now you can see I have this area over here, just east of Wichita Falls, or just east of Wichita Falls here, in my darker red area here. And the reason why I have that area drawn is it looks to me like you're going to have a little more of a push of some moist air over here, a little bit better of a push of higher moist air coming in from the south. So, and it looks like that might allow for the thunderstorms, the base of them. I'm talking about the very bottom of the root here, to perhaps develop a little bit closer to the ground. So that's what we call surface-based thunderstorms, or near, or just barely near, or just off the Earth's surface here. I know that gets confusing, but when we're looking at weather, we have to look and see. When we're talking about severity of storms, you got kind of two trains of thought here. One would be elevated, which elevated thunderstorms, the bases are up higher in the sky. Main concern with that would be a little hail, maybe some gusty winds in this type of situation. If they can root closer to the Earth's surface, the threat for stronger winds increases. And there's, like I say, there's a lot of wind energy in the atmosphere tonight. So what happens with the line of thunderstorms? Let me take this off here. Try to explain it to you some. You got this line of thunderstorms, and the winds right behind the line are out of the due west, really strong out of the due west. All right. Now, out ahead of it, the winds are out of the south and the southeast here. So where that the westerly wind and the southerly southeasterly wind kind of meet on the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms, sometimes you can get these little, what we call mesovortices, or these little spin ups within the line. The best chances for that, in my opinion, I mean, it's a chance to see that really anywhere, but your better chance to me is in this dark red area here. I'm talking about Henrietta, Bowie, Nocona, Waurika, maybe up towards Duncan, and over towards kind of like the Decatur, Bridgeport area, maybe Jacksboro, maybe Graham, and then maybe closer to I-35 towards Morning here. Now, when you're dealing with the spin-up type tornadoes, they're usually brief and they're usually fairly weak. They can develop quickly. They're there for a couple of scans and then they're gone. I mean, this is not like you're looking at your bigger badder supercell storms that produce your upper end EF2, EF3 tornadoes. Sometimes they can be a little bit stronger in the line. Sometimes they can get up to EF1, EF2 status, but usually they're the weaker EF0 status here. So I'm going to go with my tornado risk tonight, area wide, into the lower category of things. I'm not, it's not the lowest category, but it's kind of a medium low kind of category there. And again, especially across the east there, I would anticipate a tornado watch tonight because the Storm Prediction Center does have us outlined here. But, sometimes, in my opinion, the Storm Prediction Center is a little bit overdone with their forecasts. But they're not bad. Don't get me wrong. They're not bad forecasts, and they're right on some of the things they see. But sometimes I think they're just a little bit maybe a little bit too hot on some things here. I don't think the hail is going to be a major issue. Usually with the line of thunderstorms, you get mostly smaller hail. Maybe initially with the initial storms out west, they could be a little bit larger, but for the most part, you're looking at mostly smaller hail with that line that crosses the area here. Our main concern remains moderate impacts from some high gusty winds there, especially in our eastern counties there. So here is our future tracker. There's your thunderstorm line developing between 10 and 11 o'clock out west. Just kind of looking at some things. I know there's some scary looking colors over here when you look at what's called tornado parameters. But that doesn't matter if your storms are elevated up off the Earth's surface. And tornado parameters would be like the spin of the atmosphere, going with the moisture, the instability. That is there, but like I say, that doesn't matter if your storms are elevated. They're not surface-based. So if you look at this right here, it indicates to me, at least initially, a line of storms. Hail could be your main concern, at least with the initial line there. Look how quickly this thing moves east, though. It looks like between about midnight and 1 a.m., that line of thunderstorms is developing quickly across the area, Lawton down to Wichita Falls. And there might even be another area of thunderstorms that may try to develop from the south here. All that's going to quickly move east here overnight tonight. And look at that heavy rain from Oklahoma City down through Jacksboro, Bowie, those areas. Still, it's like about 4 or 5 a.m. This line of thunderstorms should be east of us, closer to I-35. I think by the time you get up in the morning, this thing will be over with here. So that's what we're looking at least for right now. We're looking at, again, this line of thunderstorms here that's going to be crossing the area overnight tonight. with mostly a wind threat, low end, spin up type tornadoes, weaker variety, usually the weaker variety. I mean, you can always argue and say, oh, there have been some instances where they're a little stronger, but most of the time they're not. So if you're nervous about this system, there's really no reason to be. Don't have storm anxiety about this one. I'm not, I always have a saying, if I'm worried about it, you should be too. And I'm not that worried about this one here. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a little rough in the middle of the night, but I think that you'll be fine. I don't think that anybody has to be too overly concerned about this. I mean, if you want to go to bed at a decent hour. Just have a way to get warnings. The app alert, our First Alert 6 weather app will alert you. Download it if you haven't yet. First Alert 6 weather app. NOAA Weather Radio is good. And of course, we're going to be staffed here overnight tonight. Myself, Jade Knowles, and Cameron, weatherman Cam Lindsay will be out in the tracker here. So we'll be keeping an eye on things. So we'll have you covered. And of course, the Weather Service does a good job of issuing warnings as well here. So just make sure that you're just keeping up with weather tonight. Again, I'm not that worried about things. This isn't anything we haven't seen before. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. But I would anticipate tornado watches and maybe a couple of tornado warnings overnight tonight. But I think you'll probably wind up seeing more severe thunderstorm warnings than anything else tonight. Now, tomorrow, once the line moves east, especially by afternoon, it's going to be very windy. I mean, there could be some power outages from the wind tomorrow. Winds are going to gust up above 50. And there could be an elevated fire weather concern across some parts of the area tomorrow as well. And then a little cooler also coming in. So it's going to be a little cooler over the next couple of days. So the severe threat would shift east tomorrow, but it doesn't look like anything too bad. It's going to be a continuation of these little spin ups in the line there. Maybe a few supercells over in Louisiana or South Mississippi, but it doesn't look too bad in my opinion here. So, but again, tonight, line of thunderstorms, main concern, gusty winds. Secondary concern would be just a little small hail and maybe a couple spin ups here or there, especially in our eastern counties. But overall, it doesn't look too bad to me. So, all right. So I hope I did a pretty good job of answering your questions for you here. I know we got lots I didn't get to, but I tried to, kind of go over it. So hopefully within that, you got the information that you needed. We'll have more updates on the First Alert 6 weather app on News Channel 6 tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock, and also on our social media platforms. Everybody have a good evening, and we will